Hey, what is up, investors? Jason here. And in this video, we're going to be giving an update on 3 SPACs that we've talked about a couple times before on this channel. And that is Bill Ackman's PSTH, which has found a target, and it's a bit confusing. And some of you might know what it is, or probably don't know what it is, or don't understand it. But we'll cover it in this video. And we're going to be talking about the 2 Chimapalhapitia's social capital SPACs, IPOD and IPOF, because some things have changed there too, because there was a target potentially for IPOF that we knew about, and that target isn't going through. That is the Equinax deal. So a bit to cover here. So as we get to it, if you guys don't mind, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or gently press that like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Help spread this video to more people that might find it interesting. And subscribe if you have not already. And if you're interested in a Patreon, supporting this channel even more, and joining the private Discord, I have one. Link is in the description. Thank you to all the Patreons. Now let's get to it. Now, starting first with IPOD, this stock had a whole lot of momentum leading into this thing coming out of the market and what this target could be. Because, I mean, if you think about the record that Chimapalhapitia has with social capital and these SPAC stocks, I mean, first one, Virgin Galactic, hit it out of the park. Then it was Open Door, hit it out of the park. Clover Health, that one, we won't talk about that one. But SoFi, another great one. So there have been 3 out of the 4 SPACs he's brought forward recently have been really good ones, and really high expectations for what we would see with IPOD. And there wasn't a target that was announced. There were some ideas that people had of what it could be. We saw this thing go up pretty high. We saw this thing trade between $10.06 as the low and $18.31 as the high, which is what it hit back in early 2021 and also into February. And then we really start falling down in March, and now it's trading at the lows here. It's trading around $10 a share. That's very, very cheap for whatever this target could be. I mean, you're buying it basically at price. You could be getting it at a discount. Who knows what it's going to be? So this is a good one in my opinion, but the whole thing is we don't know what it's going to be, and we've been waiting for a long time, and I think some people are getting impatient. And there was the other stock, IPOF, which we need to look at now, because that one we thought had a target. We thought it was going to be Equinax Gym, but before the whole Equinax announcement, it's just like IPOD, we saw this one go up a whole lot as well. This one trading between $9.88 at the low, and that's actually something that hit as it dropped down around the Equinax deal, and a high of $17.81 was a high that this had gone up to. Now, when it was announced that they could be merging with Equinax, not a whole lot of people really liked that idea, and we didn't see this thing really do much with that announcement because it just wasn't as exciting as it could be. A lot of people were hoping that maybe he could get something like Stripe or Rivian, which we know Rivian's going public, going to have a traditional IPO, and Stripe isn't going public. And we knew Bill Ackman was going for Stripe, and, well, Bill Ackman is not getting that. So there's just been a lot of things that have happened. And IPOF now currently is also trading at these lows here at $10.14. You're buying it at a premium, in my opinion, because you're getting something that could announce a potentially really good target. Now, hopefully, since the whole Equinax deal is not going through, there might be something exciting here. And just to get a little bit into why the Equinax deal was pulled out of, let's get to that real quick, and then we'll get into the Bill Ackman SPAC. So Social Cap's IPOF is saying that they are no longer in discussions over a merged luxury gym operator Equinax Holdings, as reported by Bloomberg on Friday, citing unidentified sources. Talks between the 2 parties ended due to disagreements over the merged company's valuation. Bloomberg reported, citing the sources, in May the 2 sides were negotiating regarding a deal that may have valued the combined entity at over $7.5 billion, according to the report. And that's kind of the thing with Equinax Gym, is that there's a lot of uncertainty of how much value is actually in their actual physical location gyms, and especially with everything that's gone on with the pandemic, where do we value something like that, and how do they expand on that from this point when that's a whole industry that has really been hurt? And then their Soul Cycle, their social smart bike, exercise bike thing that they have, that was one of the catalysts that interested a lot of people in wanting to invest in them, Well, at the same time, one of the big drivers for that was the whole pandemic and people being home and people exercising because gyms were closed and such. A lot of things are just reopening in general, and people are going back to the gyms and doing things that they used to do. Things are starting to go back to normal more, and that bike's catalyst is kind of, being pushed to the wayside a bit. And I think that the previous competition that they're competing against, the Peloton bike, I think that is kind of the one that has really priced itself into the market and more people are familiar with. And it's going to be very hard to see where SoulCycle can go from this point. So in a way, I'm actually excited that IPOF is no longer going to be merging with Equinax, and that can reopen to something else, to a greater opportunity. So hopefully we do find out something real positive coming with IPOF and a really good target that's worth a good amount of money, that has a lot of potential and has a really good catalyst behind it. All right, so now looking at Bill Ackman's PSTH. Now this one is a bit more of an interesting story here, because this SPAC isn't one that was coming out of the market valued at $10 a share. This one had raised even more money. This one came out actually priced higher. If you actually look at the 52-week range of this one, the lowest point of the last 52 weeks, the lowest point of this SPAC in general, was $21.33, and the 52-week high, $34.10. So looking at where it's right now, priced at $21.78, you can only imagine what's going on with this right now. And there's a target that's been announced, and the target is UMG, Universal Music Group. And that's something that investors aren't very happy about, apparently, because this SPAC isn't really showing any signs of excitement with it. And this was something that was announced a little while ago. Now, how this deal is structured, it's not structured to fully become UMG. There's actually going to be 3 SPACs that's going to be coming out of this. Investors were waiting for a very long time for this awesome Bill Ackman SPAC to be coming, to be bringing to the table something magnificent, possibly Stripe, or who knows what was going to be coming out of it. But when Stripe became something that wasn't going to be happening, even though we know Bill really tried for that one, you get 3 SPACs instead. So you get a deal that's not going to be complete when it's all said and done, and you're kind of just left wondering, what the heck? Now, the deal is structured with 10% of Universal Music Group's via Vivendi's portion, so they're buying 10% from Vivendi, and that will be structured as a distribution to existing PSTH shareholders, which currently represents pro rata $14.75 per share, but the distribution to PSTH shareholders will take place following UMG's own listing on Euronext. PSTH will use its $4 billion in trust to fund this portion. Now, then there will be another SPAC that will be made, and that's PSTH RemainCo. This PSTH will be funded with $1.5 billion from its forward purchase agreement from Pershing Square Capital, and that will continue to exist and search for another target and be listed. So the SPAC is breaking off into something else, and that portion will just be a whole nother PSTH that will be able to find a brand new target, and will continue to exist to search for another target and be listed. However, it won't be considered a SPAC by the New York Stock Exchange. So it's not going to have the same rules as a normal SPAC. And then there will be this third SPAC, and that would be Pershing SPARC. This special acquisition rights company will issue rights to PSTH shareholders to buy stock in the SPARC for $20, but only after it enters into a combination agreement. The SPARC will have up to $10.5 billion to strike another business combination and have no typical SPAC deadline period. Now, importantly, this entire transaction does not require a shareholders vote from PSTH shareholders. Don't like what's going on here? Fear not. While you lose your redemption rights, PSTH has kindly offered to tender your shares trust $20. So you just get a good idea of how all this news has affected this stock and how it's lost, more than a third of its value from where it was at its highs. And it hasn't really been able to recover, especially with this news coming out. You can see the big drop off that actually came out during that time, and it's still kind of on a downward drop here at this moment. So that's pretty much how it's all structured with PSTH. Now, there could be some positivity if you're somebody that is looking at it at the way that one of those targets is going to be UMG, and then you have the potential for 2 other targets in the future. I know this has been a long time waiting for an actual big banger target, which doesn't look like it's going to really be that now. But there's still potential there for some other things to happen here in the future. So that could be something that could have a really good outcome in the long run. But there is no timestamp really on this whole thing, so anything could really happen at that time. So you'll have to see what it all becomes valued at in the future. But as far as the other ones, IPOF and IPOD, those ones are still in the running for a good target. I'm really excited to see IPOF have a chance now at obtaining a new target. That'd be great if it does get that. So anyways, I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts on these 3 SPACs, IPOD, IPOF, and PSTH. Is there anybody that's invested in these? Anybody that is now reinvesting into these? I'd like to know. So with that being said, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. New videos coming out on my channel all the time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video coming very soon.